north in Lehigh or eastbound on the 201. But otherwise, you should be just about on cruising speed wherever you're going as we wrap up rush hour. Cormac?
No delays on I-15 through Weber and Davis counties. Really, the only major slowdowns we have is eastbound I-80 in that right lane from Kimball Junction over to the US 40 turnoff. We do have a crash. This is on eastbound I-80 in South Salt Lake. And it's causing some congestion on the transition ramp from northbound I-15 to eastbound I-80 in the Spaghetti Bowl, and it looks they are on that transition ramp and blocking the right lane there, and that's what's causing those delays. Common Spirit hospitals, clinics, and caregivers all connected to advanced healthcare in Colorado, Kansas, and Utah. Healthcare with human kindness is here. Hello, human kindness. Cormac Bone in the KSL Traffic Center.
Today's forecasted high, 96 degrees. Then we take a dip for the weekend, 80, 81 expected tomorrow, and Sunday, 69 with potential for showers. And we heat right back up. Right now, it's 81 degrees in Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio,
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Okay, KSL News Radio, I'm Alexandria Bonilla. KSL's top story this hour. Practically the entire state is under a red flag fire warning today, but a few areas have a warning a step above due to the day's low humidity and strong winds. The National Weather Service has never issued this to Utah before. The PDS red flag warning has been issued for areas in southwestern Utah and central and southern mountain areas. National Weather Service meteorologist Christine Cruz says this means people need to be prepared.
So what we really want people to do is make sure that they have an emergency supply kit in that area and know their evacuation routes, especially if they're in a place where there's few ways out. Just know which way you would evacuate.
Cruz says today the winds are expected to reach up to 50 miles per hour with extremely low humidity. Fireworks stand owners are worried they could find themselves completely bankrupt by the end of the season due to the firework ban from the governor. Matt McPherson owns Pyro Crate Fireworks. He's also a Salt Lake County representative. He says because of the America 250 celebrations, many stand owners expected record sales. But now not only is the bottom line in danger, the order might even have the opposite intended effect.
There's no effort to ban chains on highways or target practice out in the woods. You've got a lot of people for the 250th anniversary of America on July 4th. They're going to be intending to shoot off fireworks on this weekend. And they're not even going to know the ban's in effect.
He says he and some other legislators are working on an open letter to send to cities to keep already drawn restriction maps. Your money at this moment, the Dow is currently up 27 points. S&P 500 is up 1. Coming up, it'll be another hot weekend. KSL weather is next. KSL News Time, 9:02.
The sources where we get our news matters.
When you listen to Utah's Morning News, we want you to feel the stories are important to you and trustworthy. This is Amanda Dixon.
And I'm Andy Farnsworth. Join us weekday mornings on KSL News Radio.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
Veterans and active duty service members, when your call to service ends, your mission doesn't have to. Go from GI to IT in just a few months at My Computer Career. Prepare for a high-demand career in cybersecurity, protecting people, systems, and institutions from real cyber threats. Cyber warriors are needed now. Will you answer the call? Go to mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to learn more. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an Elite CompTIA certification partner. VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
This is Nate Orchard from Advanced Window Products. When you live in Utah, your windows do a lot more than let the light in. They protect your home from freezing winters, blazing summers, and everything in between. That's why Advanced Window Products builds every window for your local climate. No middleman, no out-of-state delays, just factory direct quality, custom made for your home. Imagine a quieter home, a warmer home, a cooler home. Our high-efficiency vinyl windows are engineered to lower your energy bills and boost your comfort all year round. And installation is done by our own certified in-house crews, never subcontractors. That's why Utah homeowners give us 5-star reviews. Right now, take advantage of our anniversary sale. For a limited time, get $2,500 off when you buy 10 or more windows. Call 801-850-9100. That's 801-850-9100. For 40 years, Advanced Window Products has been the name Utah trusts for custom replacement windows and sliding glass doors. Advanced Window Products, built here, installed here, trusted here. Call 801-850-9100 for that $2,500 off, or visit us at advancedwindows.com to schedule your free in-home estimate.
This is Colin Keary from the New Millennium Group. Have you ever had a question for your financial advisor only to find out that the next available appointment is months away? At New Millennium Group, we believe that financial advice should never be limited to once-a-year review meetings. Life happens every single day. Markets change, retirement questions come up, family situations evolve, and when they do, you deserve answers. That's why we pride ourselves at the New Millennium Group on being accessible when our clients need us most. Whether you're wondering about your investments or a major life decision, our team is here to help provide guidance. We're not interested in being the firm you hear from once a year. We want to be your trusted resource throughout your entire retirement journey. If you're looking for a financial team that values relationships, communication, and responsiveness, we'd love to meet you. Give us a call today at 888-999-6370. That's 888-999-6370, or visit us at utahsfinancialplanner.com.
Traffic and weather together, brought to you by UCCU. You deserve to love where you bank. Here's Cormac Bohm.
Still no delays on I-15 all across the Wasatch Front. It's been a good drive all morning on I-15. Eastbound I-80, though, that right lane still very heavy between Kimball Junction and the US 40 turnoff. And we had a caller call in that it's a little bit gusty as well through Parley's Canyon on I-80. And that's what's causing those on-again, off-again delays near the golf course and at the mouth of the canyon. And we do have this crash. This is on the off-ramp from eastbound I-80 to State Street. They're blocking that right lane in South Salt Lake and just causing some delays, transitioning actually from northbound I-15 to go eastbound I-80 in the Spaghetti Bowl. Where will summer take you? With UTA's rider's license, kids ages 6 to 18 ride all summer for just $49. Get yours today on the Transit app or at rideuta.com. Cormac Bone in the KSL Traffic Center.
And it will be hot today, highs in the mid-90s. The sunny, hot, and breezy weather, it won't really help with the wildfires burning across the state. Tomorrow, there's a chance that we'll have some rain showers, though. Thunderstorms in the afternoon. Right now, it is 81 degrees and cloudy and a little windy. I'm Alexandria Bonilla from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at kslnewsradio.com. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
The all-new Inside Sources. Your inside access to the people and policies shaping Utah's future. Here are Greg Skordas and Holly Richardson on KSL News Radio.
So the potential for catastrophic fire damage and destruction this weekend as wildfire conditions are becoming some of the worst ever seen in the state of Utah. The National Weather Service issued a particularly dangerous situation. That's literally what it's called, PDS. Red flag warning due to weather conditions. And so I am really interested to talk to Matt Johnson about that, KSL meteorologist. PDS. So what's interesting to me, Matt, is seeing people say, like, in all caps, it feels like this is really serious stuff. Tell us about PDS.
Yeah, so these are a step above a red flag warning. Basically, first level, you have a fire weather watch, then you have a red flag. And then the third tier, which is a little more rare, is a PDS red flag. And these haven't been around for very long. Really, the first one issued was back in 2017 from the Reno National Weather Service office. And it was a way that they could say, hey, this is top tier. This is high-end chance that if any fire starts, it's taking off.
It's even more serious than the red flag, right?
Correct,
yeah,
correct.
Yeah.
And so it's been around for about 9 years, and it was really had a broader adoption by the meteorologists and the weather community around 2019. So still rare, but it's only been around for 9 9-10 years.
And we haven't ever had it in Utah before, have we?
Exactly. Yeah, no, we have not. And so it doesn't take away from how extreme the event will be. But basically, this says that we've got strong winds, low humidity, and really dry fuels, record dry fuels down in southern Utah in this area. And so any fires that are existing will likely see extreme fire behavior and potential growth. And then if any new fires do start, they're going to run fast.
Wow.
So it's definitely within the red flag polygon, there is an area where we're really concerned about.
So I wanted to just mention, I listened yesterday to the governor's press conference, and we'll talk a little bit later about the fireworks issue, but I was really struck by a couple of things that he said. One, he said that he has talked to multiple firefighters who said they've never seen fire behavior like this. And then one of the things he said is that at the beginning of this Cottonwood fire, which is now up to just under 72,000 acres, I saw an update this morning, that embers were jumping like 1.5 miles. That seems super concerning. So can you tell me about fire behavior? Like, what do you even talk about as meteorologists about fire behavior?
Yeah, so when the winds get as strong as they will today, sustained 20 to 30, gusts up to 50, maybe even 60, what you're going to see is called fire spotting. And that's when the heat from the fire causes an updraft, and it'll lift up embers of decent size that are still hot and burning. And it'll lift them up, and then the upper level winds will take it downstream. And so you've got what's called fire spotting, half mile, sometimes 1.5 miles. I mean, we've even seen it 2 miles downstream.
Wow.
And it's really dangerous for firefighters to be out there during these conditions. And that's another thing to note, is that if conditions get extreme enough today, firefighters have no choice other than to just back off.
Wow.
Because like you're saying, you're fighting the main fire and you get flanked by an ember on your backside.
Yeah, you're
trapped, and so it really becomes dangerous. Yes, for the community that may be downstream from this fire, but also firefighters more imminently, because there's a chance that you're out there and you get flanked by an ember.
So I know you know a lot more about this than I do, but I also heard the governor say, look, the vegetation, the trees down here look like they're fine. He said they're dying. They're not fine because they're so dry internally. Can you talk about that? Do you know about that?
Yeah, so I can't say I know a ton, but what we do know is that not only are these critically dry fuels, but they're record dry fuels.
Okay.
And talking to folks that live down in the area, some of those trees, it's like someone poured lighter fluid on them.
Wow.
And when trees become drought stressed, and certain plants become drought stressed, they actually release an oil that's extremely flammable.
Wow.
Yeah, and so what'll happen is you'll have what you call crowning, and that's when the trees are burning, and the fire doesn't even touch the valley floor at times. It's just the trees are so flammable and the wind's blowing so fast, it'll jump from canopy to canopy to canopy, and if you're on the ground fighting as a firefighter, the fire's jumping over your head in many different ways, and so it just speaks to how flammable everything is, how dry the fuels are.
That sounds awful.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are supposed to see quite a cool down this Sunday here in northern Utah. Is there anything with that weather pattern change that would impact this fire, this area, especially down around the Cottonwood fire?
Yeah, so really it's a large low pressure system, kind of unusually big for this time of year, and that's what's causing all the wind. Once it gets here, it'll bring some showers to northern Utah, but I think southern Utah continues to stay dry, and they'll deal with more wind Saturday and potentially even into Sunday. But we've highlighted the next 15 hours from 9 a.m. right now through midnight tonight. These next 15 hours are of the highest fire danger, but even the following 15 hours after midnight, we've still got red flag in place. So
I only have you for another minute or so, but we've talked to you before about El Nino, and are you still hopeful that maybe it will bring some rain and cooler weather and maybe mitigate some of this fire danger?
Yeah, that continues to be the signal from long-range models, but that's not going to come till July. And so we've got to wait for that. But not, it's June 26th. So, but typically, a typical monsoon season shows up mid to late July and then through August in Utah. And so the hope is it'll show up earlier than later. And we have had some pulses of moisture here and there, but nothing substantial. But still holding out hope that maybe mid to late July we can get something going.
So it's still bad out there is what you're saying?
Yep. We're not out of the woods.
We're not out of the woods. Okay, so any last weather, anything our listeners need to know? We've got 20 seconds.
I would say be extremely careful. If you live in the area, especially if you live in that urban wildland interface, you got dry vegetation around. Don't do anything that could cause a spark today.
Yeah. All right. Thanks so much, Matt Johnson, KSL meteorologist. And coming up on Inside Sources, there's some decisions this morning in the court case against Tyler Robinson. We're going to get more details on media access as the case progresses. Coming up next.
This summer, celebrate America 250 somewhere truly unforgettable. Bryce Canyon. Stay at Ruby's Inn, the closest lodging to the park, where you'll enjoy comfortable rooms, free hot breakfast, an indoor pool, and easy access to hiking, horseback riding, and gorgeous views. And mark your calendar for July 10th, when the Utah Symphony performs a free concert on the rim of Bryce Canyon, honoring 250 years of America in one of the most spectacular settings on Earth. Make it a summer to remember at Ruby's Inn, where you'll get more Bryce for your buck. Plan your trip now at rubysinn.com. Celebrate America. Experience Bryce Canyon. Plan your trip now at rubysinn.com. That's rubysinn.com.
I was in foot pain for 20 years, trying to give it relief, buying all these different insoles. Drugstore insoles, custom insoles. I spent thousands of dollars. I bought all these products, and not a single one worked. I really, truly needed to have relief in my feet. And the Good Feet arch supports were what gave me the relief I needed.
For over 20 years, we've been helping people like Teresa actually live the life they love without their feet getting in the way.
They wanted to make sure that I got something that my feet felt good in, not somebody else's feet. I love the fact that I can wear these arch supports in all my shoes. I have boots, I have cowboy boots, I have running shoes, I have walking shoes, I have flat shoes, I have heels. It makes me so happy. If you ask my husband, he will crack up because there is no store I would rather go in than a shoe store. I'm Teresa, and that's my Good Feet story.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
We have locations in Farmington, Riverton, and Sandy.
Kitchen and bath transformations start with AMC Building Materials. AMC Building Materials is a large kitchen cabinet and countertop supplier serving both wholesale and retail customers. AMC offers factory direct pricing on all interior remodeling materials, giving you exceptional value without sacrificing quality. Most standard items are available for quick payment and pickup right away. AMC Building Materials provides professional service, free design, and free on-site measurements, along with expert installation by top AMC professionals. From bold kitchen designs to beautiful functional bathrooms, AMC delivers outstanding value with styles you'll love. And best of all, most projects can be completed within just 10 days. Come experience beauty you can see, quality you can feel, and service you can trust. Get directions to the new AMC Building Materials showroom at 3678 South 700 West today and schedule your free estimate. Visit amckitchenslc.org. That's amckitchenslc.org.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance. And now we're customizing this ad for your morning commute to wake you up, which could help your driving. Science says that stimulating the brain increases alertness. So here's a pop quiz. How many months have 28 days? What gets wetter as it dries? What has keys but can't open locks? If you don't want to hear the answers, turn off this Liberty Mutual ad now. 12 months, a towel, piano. Enjoy being fully alert.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-572-3344. That's 800-572-3344.
The more you listen to your kids, the closer you'll be. So we asked kids, what do you want your parents to hear?
I feel sometimes that I'm not listened to. I would just want you to listen to me more often and evaluate situations with me and lead me towards success.
We're not adults, so just be there and listen. I just want someone to yap to. And I just feel like I'll be fine if someone just hears me talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk.
You're doing a really good job. And I don't think I tell you that enough. And I know sometimes we get into it and it's just hard on both of us. But try to understand me more and I'll try to do the same.
Listening is a form of love. Find resources to help you support your kids and their emotional well-being at sounditouttogether.org. That's sounditouttogether.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and Pivotal.
We do have some breaking news right now. There's a hearing taking place in Utah County. The judges finding the prosecution in the Robinson case to be in contempt of court. They found the prosecutor to be in civil contempt, and he's about to rule what the sanction is. If we're going to break away to the judge right now, this is Tony Graff in Utah County.
Exception and violated the court's publicity order. 4, Mr. Ballard intentionally and volitionally made these extrajudicial statements, fulfilling the required elements of civil contempt pursuant to Utah Code 78B-6-301, sub 5, and Von Hake v. Thomas. Order and sanction. Having found Mr. Ballard in civil contempt, the court turns to the imposition of sanctions. The defendant argues that the appropriate sanction to remedy this prejudice is to strike the state's notice of intent to seek the death penalty. The court declines to adopt this requested remedy. As the state correctly argues in its objection, striking a capital enhancement or reducing the charge is not a remedial civil sanction. It is a fixed, absolute, and purely punitive sanction. Such an act would cross the threshold into criminal contempt sanctions and would also risk an improper judicial intrusion into the executive branch's prosecutorial discretion. Civil contempt sanctions must be remedial, tailored to cure the prejudice caused by the violation, or designed to coerce future compliance. The court finds that striking the death penalty is grossly disproportionate to the misconduct and legally unavailable in this civil contempt framework. Before imposing sanctions, the court considered whether a mere finding of violations without remedial measures would adequately protect the integrity of future proceedings. The court concludes it would not. At the same time, the court rejects punitive sanctions that would intrude upon prosecutorial charging authority or materially alter the underlying criminal proceedings. The selected remedy addresses only the potential effects of the publicity on jury selection and future compliance with the court's order. Accordingly, the court concludes that relief ordered constitutes the least intrusive means reasonably necessary to remedy the identified prejudice. However, the violation requires a meaningful remedy to compensate the aggrieved party and protect the integrity of the impending trial. The court draws guidance from the remedies deployed by the district court in Leavitt to cure jury pool taint. Therefore, it is hereby ordered. Defendant's motion for an order to show cause for contempt of court is granted insofar as the court finds Deputy County Attorney Christopher Ballard in civil contempt. Enlargement of jury veneer to directly remedy the potential taint introduced into the Utah County jury pool by Mr. Ballard's statements regarding the strength of the evidence. The court will consider expanded voir dire procedures, additional jury questionnaires, expanded jury summons, or other remedial measures as necessary after consultation with the parties, attorney's fees. Because this civil contempt proceeding was necessitated by Mr. Ballard's violation, the court shall compensate the defendant for the reasonable attorney's fees and costs incurred in the filing, drafting, and litigating of the motion for order to show cause and the evidentiary hearing. Defense counsel is ordered to submit a detailed affidavit of costs and fees within 14 days of the order of this court. The state shall have 7 days thereafter to file any objections to the reasonableness of the requested fees. Future compliance. The court reaffirms the existing publicity order. Any future violation may result in additional contempt proceedings and sanctions authorized by the law. Courts depend upon public confidence that criminal prosecutions will be decided upon evidence presented in open court rather than public advocacy outside of it. This order should not be understood as discouraging legitimate public communication authorized by Rule 3.6. Rather, it reflects the court's obligation to enforce a previously entered order equally against all counsel and to preserve the fairness of the proceedings for both the defendant and the state. And this concludes the ruling of the court. Again, this will be uploaded to the docket before the end of the day.
Okay, so what we just heard was the judge in the Tyler Robinson case. Tyler Robinson is accused of killing Charlie Kirk at Utah Valley University last fall. There was a sanction hearing. That was a hearing against the Utah County Attorney's Office for making comments in response to a defense motion. Now, what happened was the defense filed a motion to continue the preliminary hearing, and they said, we're doing this because there are some forensics that have come out about the bullet that show that it may not have come from the murder weapon. The media went crazy with that and started publishing reports that they had the wrong person, that the bullet didn't come from the gun. And of course, that was incorrect. The defense motion didn't clear that up. Rather, the prosecution jumped in and said, hey, we need to clear this up. The report only says that it's inconclusive, that we don't know whether the bullet came from the gun. And the judge said that was okay. You were okay to say that. But then the prosecution went further, and this is what got them in trouble today. They said, we have ample evidence to show that this crime was committed, and we intend to prove that at trial. So the judge said that crossed the line, and the judge found the specific prosecutor in this case to be in contempt of court. That is to say, he violated the rules. The sanction part was what I was sort of hanging on here, Holly, because the defense was saying, as a result of this,
right,
you should take the death penalty off the table.
Right.
The judge said, I don't have the authority to do that. I can't go that far. But he did issue some sanctions, and what he did was he said, look, as a result of this conduct, we're going to allow for greater conversation with the potential jurors. In other words, the defense can ask more questions about what have you heard? What do you know about this case?
Okay.
They can delve into what the jurors heard in response to what the state did inappropriately. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Additionally, let's say you were going to start with a jury pool of 100 and get it down to 12. The judge said, you may need 200. You may need more. He didn't say that
Expand
number.
the jury pool.
Exactly.
Okay.
Expand the jury pool so that you have more people to draw from to see if, in fact, anybody's been tainted by this. And so he's allowing the defense to get much more into the jurors' minds, what they've heard about the case before the trial starts, get more jurors potentially, and then he ordered attorney's fees. In other words, he's saying that the defense had to file this motion. They had a hearing, and the state's going to pay their attorney's fees for all the work that they had to do, which is odd because the state's already paying their attorney's fees. They're court appointed. So I don't know how that's going to work, but I guess it comes from the county attorney's office instead of the county clerk, the county itself. So in other words, what happened here, I was trying to break it down, but he didn't take the death penalty off the table, but he did find that this particular prosecutor, and he named him several times, violated the court order and said, look, you violated, it even went into the rules of professional conduct, the rules that govern attorneys' professional, responsibilities.
I thought he also addressed there are times, right, where clarification needs to be had, or that there is a role for talking about the case, but not in this way.
Yeah, and that's exactly what he did say. He said, look, you were fine saying, wait a minute, the defense is mischaracterizing this evidence. It doesn't say the bullet didn't come from the gun. They're only saying it's inconclusive. They're only saying that that they can't prove it came from the gun. The state was fine saying that.
So if he had stopped there,
he
would have been okay.
Yeah, but instead he said, we have a lot of other evidence. We can prove this case, and we think that there's substantial evidence other than that. That's when the court said, wait a minute.
Yeah.
You didn't have to do that. You can clear up the record by saying,
sure,
hey, the defense
So that's good to know, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, right. And then the last thing the judge said was, look, you're all on notice now.
Yeah.
Knock it off.
Yeah.
We don't ever want to see this happen again.
Yeah.
So that's what the ruling was. And I'm sorry I kind of bailed on you while you were talking to Matt Johnson, but I was listening to the court's ruling.
Yeah, no, it's good and it's interesting. And what are next steps? Because isn't the preliminary hearing
in 2 weeks,
right after the 4th of July?
Exactly. And that's still on the table. Of course, there hasn't been another motion to continue the preliminary hearing, although there was sort of a standing motion to continue it. I don't think this ruling today will in any way affect the preliminary hearing because it doesn't have anything to do with the preliminary hearing. It only has to do with the prosecution making what we call extrajudicial, which means out-of-court statements that could potentially influence a jury.
Right.
So the judge slapped them and said, knock it off, don't ever do it again.
All right, thanks for that information.
Yeah. Okay, well, some other developments this week dealing with the president's power to designate monuments under the Antiquities Act. We've talked about this before, but we'll get some perspective on an appellate court's ruling, the 10th Circuit Court of Appeals, and Utah Attorney General Derek Brown will join us on his take on that when we come back.
9:30 at KSL News Radio. I'm Becky Bruce. KSL's top local story this hour. Beaver community members are one of several communities now under a new kind of fire warning. The Cottonwood fire has grown to nearly 71,000 acres and is now the largest in the nation. At a community meeting, incident meteorologist Jason Staub said firefighting conditions will be extremely hazardous over the next 2 days, reflected by a first-of-its-kind warning from the National Weather Service.
It is now a particularly dangerous situation red flag warning. The Salt Lake City office has never issued a PDS red flag warning ever.
The fire has potentially burned dozens of homes and cabins, but Straub says so far there have been few injuries. Other fires are burning in the state as well. Families in Eureka back in their homes today, but the Iron Fire is still burning at just over 40,000 acres. Crews are making progress, though. It's 26% contained as of last update. The Bonneville Fire is almost fully contained, but it did burn up about 566 acres. That's the one above the U of U. And the Hastings Fire near Tooele is about 3/4 contained at 26,000 acres. Our top national story this hour from ABC News. Wildfires are also hitting Arizona hard. Here's ABC's Trevor Ault.
Fire crews working to put out the flames, and it forced the shutdown of Highway 87 outside Phoenix as aircrafts dropped flame retardant from above. The U.S. Forest Service says the forward progression of this fire has been stopped, but this is just one of many wildfires that have been raging across the West.
It's believed to have been sparked by a massive car explosion. Your money at this moment, the Dow is up 155 points, or about 0.3%. The S&P 500 and NASDAQ up about 0.3% as well. Coming up, it's going to be a dangerous weekend for fire conditions. KSL weather is next. KSL News Time, 9:31.
Mornings are for recharging.
And they're for starting your day right.
We volunteer to join you in the car. Get news and weather at 102.7 FM during the most important part of your day.
Andy and Amanda, each morning between 5 and 9 on KSL News Radio.
What if I told you that you could change your life in 4 weeks? That's right. Your energy, your weight, and the way your clothes fit. That's what SOTA Diet does for you, and it's built to do right now, the dynamic diet that they have. And by the way, listeners can get 4 weeks of free with SOTA if they just call 866-800-SOTA and mention KSL Radio. That is, you can have 4 free weeks of SOTA Dynamic Diet for free if you call 866-800-SOTA and mention KSL Radio. SOTA Diet Nutrition teaches you how to let go of the weight and keep it off for a lifetime. No shots, no pills, just real food, expert guidance, and habits that last. SOTA believes that weight loss should be temporary. It teaches you how to eat, get your body down to the weight you want to keep and keep it off. And they did that for me. I lost 30 pounds in 7 weeks, which is a little more than they thought they could do, but it worked out really well for me. Get 4 weeks free when you call 866-800-SOTA and mention this radio station. Remember, SOTA, state of the art.
I'm really interested to hear about how your parents talk to you at home, and how do you think they can kind of break through to you?
It's just to talk about. It's just seriously it's going to be awkward at first. But if you keep repeating it over and over again, it's just going to feel natural.
Keep going, and soon we'll just be able to talk about it.
Talking about mental health with your teens is the power of we in action. Visit intermountainhealth.org/teen mental health.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was gonna unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
At Liberty Mutual, we love helping people with things like customizing car insurance, just like how we customize a song for you. Catered country tune. Liberty Mutual, saving you bucks by protecting your truck. 'Cause Birdie told me to only pay for what I need. Thank you, Limu. I'll always trust a Nemu with Liberty, 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 Liberty.
Pack a picnic, bring your friends, and meet us in Park City. It's time for the 2026 Deer Valley Music Festival, the summer home of the Utah Symphony. Hear joyful masterworks like Beethoven's Ninth Symphony in the Wasatch Mountains. Sing your heart out with iconic performers like Idina Menzel and Lyle Lovett. Relax with concerts under the stars and make new family traditions. Every concert is a chance to experience the best of the Utah Symphony in the beauty of Park City. Concerts will sell out. Get your tickets and plan your visit at deervalleymusicfestival.org.
Traffic and weather together brought to you by UCCU. Learn how to save more this summer at uccu.com. Here's Cormac Bone.
No delays on I-15, both directions between Ogden and Provo. Really, all our freeways looking pretty good. Just that right lane on eastbound I-80 from Kimball Junction over to the US 40 turnoff after you get out of Parley's Canyon. But that's still pretty normal delays over there. And we do have a city street crash, though. This is on 5600 West out by California Avenue. It's a semi-truck involved crash. Both directions of 5600 West are closed at California Avenue, but you can pretty easily get around it on Mountain View Corridor or other roads there. So light congestion, if anything. I'm Cormac Bone in the KSL Traffic Center.
It will be hot today. Highs in the mid-90s. The sunny, hot, and breezy weather, of course, not great for wildfires burning across the state. Tomorrow, there is a chance we will have some rain showers in the morning and thunderstorms in the afternoon. Right now, you've got mostly cloudy skies, a little bit of wind, and 82 degrees. I'm Becky Bruce from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at kslnewsradio.com. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
The all-new Inside Sources. Your inside access to the people and policies shaping Utah's future. Here are Greg Skordas and Holly Richardson on KSL News Radio.
One thing that really gets Utahns up in arms, public lands and public land access.
Yeah, and it goes both ways. But in rural central Utah, there's been a battle going on for some time over national monuments, Bears Ears and Grand Staircase Escalante.
So this week, an appeals court ruled on monument disputes involving the President of the United States, and it's getting praise from both sides.
Yeah, so what happened was the 10th Circuit heard argument about whether or not the president sort of has what we call unfettered discretion to use the Antiquities Act to create national monuments. And they said, maybe not so much. It's never been tested before, but now the president's power to do that has been it's been checked a little bit.
I think that's really interesting, and I wanted to get some perspective on this from Attorney General Derek Brown, who's on the line with us. Thanks for joining us, Attorney General.
Good morning, Holly. Greg, great to be with you.
I saw that you were pretty happy with this decision, and I wonder if you could tell our listeners why you think this is a good thing.
Well, first of all, monuments, the fight over it, as you mentioned, or as Greg mentioned at the beginning, has been going on for, ever since President Clinton. This has been going on for 25 years or more. And the reality is it's a hot button issue for probably 21 or 22 of the counties in Utah. And this is the first major, what I would call legal victory on this issue that we've had in 2.5 decades. And so I'm thrilled with the way it turned out. But as Greg mentioned the phrase unfettered power, unfettered discretion, and that's really what this is about, is the monuments have been designated by the president, but, you've essentially had folks arguing that once the president designates a monument, however big, however large, however expansive, well, that's it. It's done. You can't undo it. No subsequent president can undo it. He has unlimited power in that arena. And so, that's why we have two presidents that have designated monuments that are roughly 3 million acres, which, just to put it in perspective, that's like the size of Rhode Island and Delaware taken out of Utah, like right from the middle of Utah. And the real question is there any check on that power? And up until now, the answer has been, nope, president can do whatever the president wants. And our legal argument has been, no, there's got to be a check on that. And in fact, there is in the statute, as I would argue. And so ultimately, I guess that's a long way of saying the court this week at the 10th Circuit in Denver basically said, no, there are limits to what the president can do. And I think that's a good thing.
So now that we have that, Derek, where do we go? The 10th Circuit said, okay, what's happened is a little bit too far. I think the Obama administration, maybe Biden, had put it up to 3 million. Trump put it back down to 1 million. The state now weighs in, and where does it go from here?
Well, it goes back to the district court here in Utah, and we basically get back to the underlying argument. So we've been arguing all along that what the president did far exceeded his statutory power. So what it is the monuments, first of all, there seems to be this false choice that is being presented, that it's between people who want to protect the land and people who don't. And that's absolutely not true. We all want to protect it. The question is, how do we do it? And if the president designates a 3 million acre monument, but the president, of course, doesn't have the power of the purse to appropriate resources to manage it, well, that's a problem. And so we've been arguing that the president has to have some limits. And so ultimately we've been arguing that, and the battle has been on whether the president exceeded those limits. And, that's the answer we got this week in the federal court is, yes, there is some ability to review that, because the lower court said, well, nope, once the president does it, there's no reviewing that. Well, we've now found out that we're right. The president doesn't have unlimited power. So now the district court basically goes back to the drawing board and has to look at what he did and say, well, was this excessive power? They're trying to preserve certain artifacts in important areas, and you have a couple thousand acres of important stuff, and if the president draws a circle that's 3 million acres around it, does that violate the statute? And we would argue that it does, but ultimately I think that's the real question, and we've got an answer to that.
So General Brown, I have some questions. So this might be just a little.
Let's do it.
It might be a little nerdy, but we're talking about the president's power under the Antiquities Act, and I think that it has gone both ways. So I think you're talking about Democratic presidents had too much power and made him too big, and I think other people would argue then that President Trump should not have made them smaller at the same time. Does this lawsuit have anything at all to do with saying, look, this really needs to be done legislatively?
Well, not so much. And to get into the nerdy details, here's what it is the law itself says that the president can designate a monument, and that's a good thing, to preserve objects of historic interest. The problem is President Biden said, okay, I'm going to preserve objects of historic interest, and then he listed boulders, cacti, and shrubs as the objects of historic or scientific interest. And that's why, lawyers like me went, okay, come on, let's get real. What we've got to do is look at the statute, and the statute says that he can do that, but it's got to be the smallest area compatible with protecting those things. So think of it like the president gets to preserve, like, say, a priceless painting, and he can put a border, a frame around it and cover it up in the museum so that it can be preserved. And instead, the president then puts a fence around the neighborhood in which the museum is located. Like, that's the kind of just excess use of power. And so ultimately, I think that's what we get back to is what's the proper use of that power, because it's a good power and we want to protect those things. But I think there has to be a check and balance, and that's what we've missed.
So, Attorney General, we have a question from a listener about especially Bears Ears. How does it work with the tribe down there, the Navajo Reservation Nation that's down there? Did they get power? Did they get input into this decision at all?
Well, I think the reality is everyone should get input. And that's, I think, been the greatest heartburn people have had about this, is that the administrations that have designated these really should take into consideration local impact, state impact. I mean, before Bears Ears was designated by President Obama, we had the legislature pass resolutions saying, we don't need a monument. Here's how we can protect those lands. Here's what we're going to do. Here's how we're going to allocate resources. And then the federal government, the president effectively said, I don't care. I'm going to do this anyway. So ultimately, I think what you want is a collaborative effort where the president, the administration, if they're going to designate a monument, they really should have, they should take input from everyone, from the tribes, from the commissioners, from the local people who are most directly affected. I mean, when President Clinton designated what is the Staircase Escalante Monument, I mean, that is the largest land-based national monument in the United States. And he designated that, and it's had a massive impact on that area of the state of Utah. Well, if you're going to have that kind of an impact, talk to the locals and find out what is, how do we work with them? I mean, everyone needs to be brought in. So that would be my answer to that question. It's a great question.
Yep.
All right. Thanks so much. Utah Attorney General Derek Brown on an issue where they are going to move forward with a lawsuit. So coming up next on Inside Sources, we're going to talk about a brand new opportunity you have during this celebration of America's history to celebrate Utah's history. We're going to talk with the director of the new Museum of Utah after this.
Man, I love this place. I've been surfing here since I was a kid. Now, seeing my grandson out on the water, it means everything to me. Watching him and taking in the blue waves, the sea breeze, the blurry horizon.
If you have geographic atrophy, or GA, subtle changes in vision could mean it's progressing toward irreversible vision loss. Izervay is proven to slow GA progression and could help preserve your vision for longer, so you may keep seeing the world around you. Izervay, or avacincaptad pegol, is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may cause blood in the white of the eye, blurred vision, or a temporary increase in eye pressure. Do not drive or use machinery until vision has recovered after an eye injection or exam. Ask your retina specialist how you can slow your GA with Izervay. To learn more, call 1-855-IZERVAY or go to izervay.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
More than 50 million Americans suffer from a form of mental illness.
And Utah isn't immune, with nearly 1 in 3 people dealing with anxiety, depression, or another form of mental illness.
But there's hope. We can all take action to keep ourselves and our loved ones safe.
That's why KSL has teamed with the Huntsman Mental Health Foundation to bring you hope and help you thrive.
It's Healthy Mind Matters.
Find out more at healthymindmatters.com.
Murphy's Law says that if your air conditioner is going to break down this summer, it's going to be when you least expect it and at the worst possible time. And for a lot of homeowners, the fear isn't just the breakdown. It's worrying about what happens next. Is this going to cost a fortune? Am I going to be pressured into replacing it? Can somebody just help me figure out what's wrong? At Any Hour Services, that's exactly what we're here for. Maybe your system just needs maintenance to help prevent breakdowns before they happen. Maybe a part failed and a simple repair gets you back up and running quickly. Or maybe your system's getting older, repairs are adding up, and you think replacing it makes more sense. Whatever the situation, we'll walk you through your options, answer your questions, and make sure you have the information you need to make the decision that's right for your home and your budget. Maintenance, repair, or replacement, you choose what's right for you. That's how Any Hour Services works. Options, not pressure. Call Any Hour Services next time you need help with your air conditioner. Google Any Hour Services or schedule online at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
Hey Utah, have you heard?
nuclear energy might be coming to our state. Now, before your brain jumps straight into sci-fi movies, let's talk about what nuclear actually does. Nuclear technology helps power our nation's submarines, supports life-saving cancer treatments, and produces reliable electricity for millions of homes. That said, nuclear power also comes with some common misconceptions. Don't worry, we get it. Here's a fun fact. You're exposed to more radiation eating bananas than you are living near a nuclear power plant. And get this, a lifetime supply of nuclear energy fits into a single soda can. Despite what some people believe, nuclear energy is safe, clean, and incredibly efficient. But don't just take my word for it. Energy decisions matter, and Utahns deserve the facts. Learn more about nuclear and what it can mean for you. Visit energy.utah.gov/nuclear.
Did you really think Pure Talk was just going to sit back and watch America turn 250 years old without doing something awesome to celebrate? Of course not. That's why they're raising $250,000 for America's Warrior Partnership by the end of July. America's Warrior Partnership is on the front line of preventing veteran suicide. They've had extraordinary success, and here's how you can help. When you switch your cell phone service to Pure Talk this month, you'll be invited to round up to support America's Warrior Partnership. No pressure, but if you do, Pure Talk will match your donation dollar for dollar. And to further celebrate 250 years of our extraordinary democratic republic, Pure Talk is offering unlimited talk, text, and data for just $34.99 a month. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe. That's pound 250, say Mike Rowe. And happy birthday to us.
The new Inside Sources.
Well, this upcoming week is a great time to celebrate America's history and part of its 250th anniversary, but it's also a time to see part of Utah's history.
I know, and I'm excited. So tomorrow, the brand new Museum of Utah opens on Utah's Capitol Hill and that new North Building on the Capitol Complex.
We have a special guest in studio today to talk more about this, Museum Director Tim Glenn. Tim, thanks for being in studio with us today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
So I have not heard much about the Museum of Utah until recently. So tell our listeners. Holly's been on top of it. That's why you're here. But tell our listeners what they need to know about the new Museum of Utah.
Sure. Yeah, it's a brand new state history museum. It's the first state history museum in our state, and in fact, we are one of the last states in the whole country to get a state history museum. So we feel very fortunate to have been a part of this project. It's a free museum that'll open at the Capitol Complex, as you said, tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., and then we'll sort of match Capitol hours. We sort of try to think of ourselves as a Smithsonian for the state of Utah. We try to tell the whole history of this state, and we're looking forward to inviting people.
So I'm super excited. So one of the things that I've noticed is there have been little piecemeal places where you can see some of Utah's history. So I love that it's all in one place. What are some of the exhibits that you're most excited for?
Oh man, this is such a hard question because if you're a
Everything.
if you're a part of this, every single image, artifact, word, frankly, was sort of fought over and detailed over, and so it's really hard to pick a favorite. I will say that the Mormon meteor is striking, and it's an incredible sort of artifact that we have on display now. It's back at the Capitol.
That's great.
So many people were eager to have this car back at the Capitol. It's a historic land speed record holding car. It kind of started Speed Week out on the Bonneville Salt Flats.
Right.
So I'm super excited for people to have access and see that again. There are, I was part of acquiring this amazing Marty McFly shirt from Back to the Future 3.
Wow.
So I'm pretty excited about that. Michael J. Fox himself was standing in that shirt pretending to be a cowboy in the Old West. But there's just so many things. It's hard to pick one.
So when I have meetings at the Capitol Complex, there are numerous buildings, and I never know which one. So which one? Which? If I go up there, which building am I walking into?
Just head north. Just keep going north. And so actually, there's a brand new public parking spot at the Capitol.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we all need parking.
Right.
So if you park in that brand new underground parking, you're going to come right up some elevators, and you're going to have to walk through our building to get to the Capitol building.
Okay.
You can't miss the museum when you walk through the North Capitol building because it's on the first floor. There are 4 galleries. There's windows into the galleries. So you're going to know that you're in a museum as soon as you walk through.
I think that's amazing. I am really interested in the contributions that women have played in Utah history. Is there an exhibit or multiple exhibits about the role that women have played in Utah's history?
Absolutely. So there's an element of our Becoming Utah Gallery, which is our statehood story, where we explore the role that women's suffrage played in our statehood story. Women got the right to vote, first to vote in the country, and then it was taken away from them, and then they got it back again, right? So that is featured and on display. But frankly, we tried to incorporate not just women's history, but all sorts of community history throughout the entire gallery. We were kind of scientific about it, actually. Like we did audits of our stories to make sure that we were representing the state well. And so this is one of my favorite stories. Our first audit, we thought we were doing great. We were like, oh yeah, we've got a ton of women's history in this space. The Historical Society is overwhelmingly run by women. And so everyone was like, yeah, we're doing good. And when we ran the numbers, we realized it was actually like 65-35 men to women representation. We said, okay, yeah, we got to keep working. So yes, women's history is represented throughout the space.
And like the early, like way before pioneers got here, you have history of Native Americans here.
Absolutely, yeah. I personally did a lot of work consulting with Utah's 8 federally recognized tribes, and we viewed it as a government-to-government conversation, right? And
that's
so
awesome.
We went to each of the tribes and we said, what would you like to see in this space? And then we did the work to make sure that the history was told in a way that was consistent with the rest of the museum, but really matched what the tribes hoped to say about themselves.
So as the director, then, you've been involved for some time, and I'm just wondering, you mentioned it just with dealing with the tribes, but how was it decided what goes in there? Because I imagine what you just described makes a lot of sense. You go to the tribes and say, hey, there are things that you want in here. What about other groups? You got the Mormon Meteor, which was the land speed record holder out of the Great Salt Lake. How else did you decide what to bring into the museum?
It's a huge question, right? Like we say, we have space that is, I like to joke, slightly larger than a Trader Joe's. And we're telling all of Utah's history in this space, right? We really went out into the community. I like to say there is not one person who made any decision about what should be in this museum. It is a community-based museum. So we held focus groups throughout the state. I think I held 50 plus meetings all over the place, just talking to people. We had a scholarly advisory team which had members from many of Utah's universities and the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, the historians who were offering their input on what should be in the museum. We have our own staff, and then just stakeholders. We talked to all sorts of community stakeholders from various sort of groups within the state who have stories to tell, and then it was our job to try to figure out, okay, how do we get all of this into this one space? And so what we did is we created a thematic museum. So it's not chronological. You don't start at one place and end it at today. You will see stories based in themes that relate to Utah's history across the full breadth of time in this state.
That's awesome. I sometimes wonder if museums, do you skew history at all, right? Are we saying here's the positive look at everything that's ever happened in Utah, or are there some warts included too?
Well, my graduate professors would be angry at me if I said that it's possible to stay entirely subjective or objective in doing history. But yes, that is what we strive for. We strive to tell a whole history. So we definitely want people to come into the space and feel feelings, right? And sometimes that means that we tell hard history. Sometimes that means we tell really good history. And it was really a process of that community feedback to decide what's the right thing to put in. Yes, it's subjective, but yeah.
So I want you to be able to tell us about the party tomorrow. Tell us about what we can expect.
Absolutely. So we'll open at 9 a.m. We'll be doing a community ribbon cutting. We'll have some of our kids, 4th and 7th grade students, helping to cut the ribbon tomorrow morning. But we'll have a huge community gathering out on the North Plaza of the Capitol. We have community partners who will have booths and they'll have activities. I know that the Olympic people will be there, and so many different America 250. This is an America 250 celebration as well. And then we'll be open all day. Food trucks, performances, DJs, poets. We're celebrating Utah.
And did you say that entry is free and it's open 7 days a week?
It is free, and we will be open 7 days a week. That's right. We generally match the Capitol Complex hours with some slight variations, but 7 days a week, free museum.
So let me then just ask, if people are up here maybe on the 4th of July or the 24th of July, those are holidays, are you still open then?
We will be open. We didn't think it was right to throw a grand opening the week before July 4th.
And then say we're closed?
And then close, yeah. We'll be open.
That sounds fun.
Do you have people that will be working at the museum that can take groups on tours? Like if the school bus comes, is there somebody that works there that's going to say, hey, we're going to walk you through this? Or is it mostly just an open forum that people walk in and see and do what they want?
We're booking field trips right now for the next school year. So we do have field trip programming. We're working on our docent programming right now. Brand new museum. There's going to be so many people. They're going to want to experience it on their own. But we will have docent programming where individuals who are not a part of a field trip can come and get a tour.
So I think I understand, too, from one of the multiple media articles about this grand opening that you might have rotating exhibits.
Yeah.
Because you have so many things, right, to be able to show us. When do exhibits rotate? Is that like twice a year, or I have
every
no
10
idea.
years?
Yeah. This is museum work in a nutshell. We haven't even opened yet, and
you're already changing it up, Holly. Don't do that.
Sorry.
No. But we do have a temporary space. We plan to rotate it every 2 to 3 times per year, and we'll do various fine art exhibits and history exhibits. The first temporary exhibit, though, is an America 250 exhibit, and it'll be up for a year.
That's great.
Wonderful. Well, thanks for joining us today. We're looking forward to that. And in the next hour on Inside Sources, Utah Fire Watch. Let's go in depth on the governor's order basically banning fireworks statewide through the 4th of July holiday when we come back.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
10 o'clock at KSL News Radio. I'm Becky Bruce. KSL's top story this hour. Tonight, a community meeting will be held on the Piute County side of the Cottonwood fire at the Piute High School Auditorium. That follows a meeting last night in Beaver City where people were told to brace for a tough 48 hours because of strong winds. U.S. Forest Service District Ranger Jared Whitmer says the Cottonwood fire's already been moving at an incredible rate and it could move faster today.
In Utah, this is the fastest I've seen fire move 20 miles in one day.
Beaver County Sheriff Cody Black says the situation is not safe. He says people really need to be ready to follow any evacuation warnings. Our top national story this hour from ABC News. Former National Security Advisor for President Trump, John Bolton, is pleading guilty to illegally retaining classified information. Bolton originally faced 18 counts, including sharing classified notes with relatives while writing a memoir. Bolton's plea deal with federal prosecutors could help him avoid prison time. King Charles is saying goodbye to Buckingham Palace.
The palace announcing that when renovations here are complete next year, the king's not going to move in, breaking with tradition. This was the London home of his mother, grandfather, and great-grandfather before him. Now, instead, the king plans to remain at Clarence House just up the street. Buckingham Palace will remain kind of the headquarters for the royal family. Will host things like state functions and royal banquets.
That's ABC's Maggie Ruley reporting. Your money at this moment, the Dow up about 0.3%, the same for the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ at this hour. Coming up, strong winds around the state. KSL weather is next. KSL News Time, 10:01.
A reminder about the simplest way to get updated for your day.
Hit your KSL preset when you jump in the car, and we'll take care of the rest.
Hear key news updates and traffic reports.
Andy and Amanda from 5 to 9 in your car.
KSL News Radio at 102.7 FM.
You want to change your life in 4 weeks? Well, I did. I wanted to lose some weight in 4 weeks, and I did so with Sota Diet Nutrition. Changed my energy, changed my weight, changed the way my clothes fit. In 4 short weeks, I lost 18 pounds. In 7 weeks, I lost 30 pounds. Well, The Soda Dynamic Diet is what I use to build that. And right now, listeners of this station can get 4 weeks free if you call 866-800-SODA and mention KSL News Radio. You will get 4 weeks of free Soda Diet Nutrition. It teaches you how to let go of the weight and keep it off for a lifetime. No shots, no pills. It just is just based on food. And it's food that you can buy at the store. You don't have to buy it through them. You get 4 free weeks if you call 866-800-SODA and mention KSL Radio. Remember, soda is not a quick fix. It is proven that teaches you how to eat for life. It gets you on a program. You get a nutritionist, and they will tell you what to do. SOTA, S-O-T-A, how does that stand? State of the art.
This is Nate Orchard from Advanced Window Products. When you live in Utah, your windows do a lot more than let the light in. They protect your home from freezing winters, blazing summers, and everything in between. That's why Advanced Window Products builds every window for your local climate. No middleman, no out-of-state delays, just factory direct quality, custom made for your home. Imagine a quieter home, a warmer home, a cooler home. Our high-efficiency vinyl windows are engineered to lower your energy bills and boost your comfort all year round. And installation is done by our own certified in-house crews, never subcontractors. That's why Utah homeowners give us 5-star reviews. Right now, take advantage of our anniversary sale. For a limited time, get $2,500 off when you buy 10 or more windows. Call 801-850-9100. That's 801-850-9100. For 40 years, Advanced Window Products has been the name Utah trusts for custom replacement windows and sliding glass doors. Advanced Window Products, built here, installed here, trusted here. Call 801-850-9100 for that $2,500 off, or visit us at advancedwindows.com to schedule your free in-home estimate.
This is Colin Keary from the New Millennium Group. Have you ever had a question for your financial advisor only to find out that the next available appointment is months away? At New Millennium Group, we believe that financial advice should never be limited to once-a-year review meetings. Life happens every single day. Markets change, retirement questions come up, family situations evolve, and when they do, you deserve answers. That's why we pride ourselves at the New Millennium Group on being accessible when our clients need us most. Whether you're wondering about your investments or a major life decision, our team is here to help provide guidance. We're not interested in being the firm you hear from once a year. We want to be your trusted resource throughout your entire retirement journey. If you're looking for a financial team that values relationships, communication, and responsiveness, we'd love to meet you. Give us a call today at 888-999-6370. That's 888-999-6370, or visit us at utahsfinancialplanner.com.
Traffic and weather together, brought to you by UCCU. Auto loan rates as low as 4.74% APR. Here's Cormac Bone.
Still no delays on I-15, both directions between Ogden and Provo. Really, all our freeways still looking pretty good. We do have this crash, though, on 5600 West near California Avenue in Salt Lake. And it's both directions of 5600 West that is closed at California Avenue due to that crash still. And we do have good news from the Utah County Sheriff's Office. Highway 6 is going to open at noon between Eureka and Alberta. The Good Feet store is supporting you with comfort no matter what the day brings. Find the location nearest you at goodfeet.com. Cormac Bone in the KSL Traffic Center.
96 today, dry and extremely windy, which will elevate fire danger. Windy again tomorrow with a decent chance for some thunderstorms. Right now, wind is picking up. It's mostly cloudy and 86 degrees. I'm Becky Bruce from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at kslnewsradio.com. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
The all-new Inside Sources. Your inside access to the people and policies shaping Utah's future. Here are Greg Skordas and Holly Richardson on KSL News Radio.
4th of July celebrations in Utah are going to look a little different this year. Governor Spencer Cox has announced a statewide restriction on personal fireworks.
And I would not do this if it wasn't the worst possible situation that we've ever seen. And to anybody who pushes back on that, all I can say is go out to one of these fires and talk to one of these firefighters, look them in the eye, and then come back and talk to me, because it will change your perspective.
We thought this may be coming, but the governor did speak with legislative leaders before issuing this executive order, which is only a temporary restriction, and it'll be in effect until July 5th.
He says he'll reevaluate the order when Pioneer Day comes around, of course.
Yeah, this is Utah Fire Watch. We're talking fireworks today, and you started the program talking about fire danger.
I know.
And the fact that we're under the highest alert possible from the National Weather Service.
Yeah, that's right. And that is especially down in that Fish Lake area where that Cottonwood fire is and continues to grow at 0% contained. So one of the things that's really interesting to me is the response from people. And so I've seen online. So I've seen a couple of things. One, before he issued this executive order, there were a lot of people saying we need a fireworks ban, we need a ban, we need a ban. Now that he has, I'm seeing a lot of people saying, what the heck? Why are you doing that?
And it was kind of weird because we were leading up to it, and Governor Cox initially gave sort of the impression that it would be up to the municipalities how they wanted to handle it. Then we talked to some of the municipal leaders who said, we don't have authority to do that.
Not a general ban.
Right, we can ban in certain areas
Yeah.
or certain parts of our city and county, but not just a general ban. And then the fire situation is out of control right now. I think we've burned over 100,000 acres in Utah.
We're getting close to 200,000 now.
And some of the fires
this year.
are so big that they've become awful. And I think the governor maybe didn't have a choice, and it's one of those sort of executive order things.
Well, when you have this extreme fire danger and the weather, right, where it's very, very dry after this last winter with no precipitation basically, and now we have high winds coming, I applaud him. But fireworks stand operators, interesting. KSL's Aaron Cox spoke with State Representative Matt McPherson, who also owns a fireworks stand, to get his take.
This ban could have a huge impact on these owners. One told me tonight that it might make it so he loses half his business. Others say they could lose it all. As fireworks sales are underway, America's 250.
We would probably see at least a 50% increase from last year to this year.
Sales that might look different now.
They may find themselves totally bankrupt at the end of this season because of an executive order that, first of all, may not even be legal.
Matt McPherson, a representative for Salt Lake County and fireworks stand owner, says the governor's statewide firework restriction announced Thursday might even have the opposite effect.
Now we're going to have a huge enforcement problem on top of this ban. They may go out into the outskirts of town or in the hills or something and try to shoot fireworks there, and that's the worst place you can shoot them, especially right now.
Fireworks, McPherson says, rarely cause wildfires, and of the more than 350 fires burning now, he doesn't know of any coming from fireworks.
There's no effort to ban chains on highways or target practice out in the woods. You've got a lot of people for the 250th anniversary of America. On July 4th, they're going to be intending to shoot off fireworks on this weekend, and they're not even going to know the ban's in effect.
Hey, we do have some breaking news, and joining us in studio right now, Alexandria Bonillo. Alexandria, what's going on?
Hey, Greg. So we just got word the Utah Department of Corrections has confirmed that Nicholas Rossi has died. Nicholas Rossi, he was the man who was extradited from Scotland to Utah, and he was found guilty of rape twice. He actually faked his death to escape those charges originally, and then they, of course, found him, and he was going under the name Arthur Knight. They say that he actually died from complications of an existing medical condition after he chose to discontinue medical treatment. That first guilty conviction was in October 2025, and then the second was in November 2025.
Okay, thank you. That's troubling news, but it happened
Thanks for
out at
joining
the
us.
State Prison.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us.
We're going to go back to fireworks.
Yeah.
So, thanks, Alexandria. Look, so what was interesting to me is hearing State Representative Matt McPherson say none of the fires were caused by fireworks. Yes, that is correct, Representative, because they're not legal to light off
yet
until 3 days before the holiday and 3 days after. So
but he did make a good point. He said, look, they're not telling people they can't go target practice. They're not telling people they can't put chains on their car. He said there are a lot of things that cause fires. I think was his point. Why are we targeting fireworks? I understand.
I can tell you why.
No. I understand. But what he's saying is, hey, you've selected a group that he's got a personal interest in, obviously.
Right. And look, I think that's one of the things where there are some people, and I've seen this on social media, people saying, I don't care. I would rather see the mountain burn than not be able to light off my fireworks. And I think that's I think that's the wrong approach, let's be honest. I really, really do. And municipalities do still get to make their own decisions. We're going to talk with the mayor coming up next. But this is something where this is really, really serious. Yes, I get this America's 250. I get that. I get that it's fireworks and hot dogs, and I do. But I don't want to see our state destroyed. We had a listener text in. This is so far this year, this is nationally, 35,118 fires have burned more than 2.9 million acres nationwide, exceeding the 10-year averages for both fires and acres burned to date. The largest fire in the nation is the Cottonwood Fire near Beaver, and they had it at 71,000. Now we're 10,000 acres more than that. And we know that almost 80% of Utah's fires this year, human-caused.
Oh yeah, the huge percentage of them, and Utah is probably leading the league. Like you say, we've got the biggest fire in the country, and I would assume that the Iron Fire in Juab County is probably one of the larger fires too.
It is, yeah.
It was in the 30,000.
It's now over 40,000 acres.
Yeah.
That one is 27% contained. The Cottonwood Fire, 0% contained, and that's where we got that PDS warning.
And that was the fire that I think Adam Small was at it was in Beaver yesterday looking at it, and the flames were such that you could see them all night. And you said something like some of the plumes from these fires you can
see from space, man. Yeah, they are producing so much. Look, I am wondering, I haven't heard it yet, but I know that fires can get so big that they can produce their own weather. They can create wind gusts because of the heat in the fire. So I bet we're at that spot with Cottonwood.
And it's supposed to be a hot weekend, maybe cooling off a little bit.
I think here,
we're talking about moisture that comes in. Yesterday we had this blast of rain for a minute, but it was
up
just
here.
Yeah, just for a minute. Right?
Yeah, so that was what Matt Johnson said, is even though there is a big cool off up here in northern Utah, what brings that cool weather in is wind, and that's what's going to be down there impacting that fire is the wind. So there is the ability for municipalities now to do a municipality-wide ban, I guess. So it's interesting to me that I guess it's not that interesting. There's pushback. It's not surprising, I guess. It's interesting, but not that surprising.
But you have to feel sorry for the people that make a living off of selling fireworks.
And I know that that's not how they make their living for the entire year. I get it. I do. I understand. And also, if you've ever had your house burned down or your entire neighborhood, I think maybe you understand this maybe a little more.
Yep.
So if you're wondering how local mayors are responding to this order and if they understand the directive, I think some people, they're curious. I know my municipality is. There's mentions on our Facebook page that the city council is going to talk about it. Well, we're going to talk with Bountiful Mayor Kate Bradshaw after the break, following up on a conversation we had with her earlier this week before the order. Stay with us.
My internet service is rock solid. In fact, it's the most intelligent Wi-Fi you can get. When it detects a problem, it even heals itself. In my house, we're connected with Xfinity Wi-Fi. It hits every corner of the house and it's built for speed. Sometimes I even do my show from home and I never have to worry about losing the connection because Xfinity Wi-Fi is powered by fiber, 99.999% reliability, and even better, the grandkids can watch a movie, play games, my wife can surf, and I'm still rock solid on KSL. And the best part is you can lock in 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with the best equipment. 5 years, same price, no contracts or commitments. You get everything you need. Data, equipment, plus you'll be online within minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. 5 years, same price, no contract. Go to Xfinity.com or visit an Xfinity store to get started. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Select plans only.
The Movie Show broadcasting live today from NPS in Salt Lake City. Back at the original flagship store, we've got Igor with us here to talk about some of the great deals we've got at NPS. Longtime Movie Show listeners know NPS always has great deals. But if you're not a longtime movie listener, then you'll learn this today. And if you are, you also know that when the movie show comes, NPS throws even more amazing deals on top of their great deals. So, Igor, what have you got for us today?
Thank you, Andy. Val, welcome to the NPS store. We have great, amazing things going this weekend. First of all, we're celebrating Elaine's birthday. Elaine is the founder
Yes.
of NPS. So we have tons of specials. And last week we celebrated Father's Day. We gave a ton of money for people who spend more than $50. They would get a $10 gift certificate.
So like you did for Mother's Day, you did it for Father's Day.
Yes.
Okay.
And today and tomorrow is the very last day.
All right, so if you have Father's Day dollars from NPS that you need to spend, you have to do it by tomorrow or they will be no good.
Exactly.
Don't lose out on the free money that NPS gave you.
Exactly. And we gave a lot of money. So we want the customers to come back and use it.
For celebrating mom's favorite things, you have so many different things that you have extra percents off on.
Yes. So Elaine, she was a teacher. And so she loved anything educational. So we sell some books. I have a book here. Guess how much this book?
Oh, I don't know.
$2.
$2.
Oh, wow. So it doesn't matter what book you find over in the book area. It's only $2. And we have sales in collectibles. That was her favorite room for the whole store. So we have sales in jewelry. The whole collectible department is going to be 15% off, which is unheard of.
Okay, that's a good deal for the collectibles department especially.
Yes.
Wow, see, this is great. I'm looking over the things. These are some of the things that were this is Julie's mom's favorite things. So you put them on sale in honor of her birthday. I think that's really cool. You put them on an extra sale, I guess I should say. Plus, at NPS, besides collectibles, clothing, TVs, books, they've got grocery. Oh, we're going to talk about a lot of stuff as we go on the movie show today. Live from NPS. They've got 4 locations, by the way. Deals are good at all NPS locations that we talk about, unless we say specifically it's Salt Lake. But they've got 4 locations. Here in Salt Lake at 1600 South Empire Road. In Davis County at 1150 North Main in Layton. And in Utah County, 475 North State.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hoped it'd go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was gonna unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Because as your life changes and your body changes, Sleep Number mattresses adapt and shift to give you personalized comfort night after night. And right now, new mattresses start at $1,500 during our 4th of July sale. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number. To a good life sleep.
Got an expensive AC replacement or repair quote? Get a free second opinion with Vyrock Heating and Cooling. Call or text 801-306-8360 or visit VyrockAir.com. VAIRockair.com.
Everything to my back is dark.
High in the alpine wilderness.
The ridgeline is imposing, the escarpments, the drops.
A place where survival,
it's dark now, I have nothing,
is never certain. In 2011, an Australian hiker vanished.
Did he really make a wrong turn, or did he decide that he was done?
You have done this walk too, but this is your backyard.
The mountains have decided to keep him.
Find and follow the podcast series Uinta Triangle, wherever you get your podcasts.
Inside Sources.
Well, no fireworks for Utah in America 250. Governor Cox has issued an executive order banning them through July 5th, with a very few exceptions because of Utah's historically terrible fire season.
But look, earlier this week, before the order, we actually talked about the danger of fireworks right now. We asked why cities weren't banning them themselves, and Bountiful Mayor Kate Bradshaw heard us talking about it, called in to explain the complexities of the law and why cities couldn't enact full-out bans. But I also want to say she pointed out how many different activities Bountiful was having that didn't involve fireworks.
So since we talked to her, the governor's issued his order. We want to get her follow-up on that and her take on the governor's order. Mayor, thanks for joining us this morning.
Oh, thanks for inviting me to be with you again.
You kind of started this conversation, so tell us what you think right now about the governor's order.
Well, it's been quite a week. You know, we've gone from wanting to clarify his statements because there was a lot of confusion about what he had put out there versus what cities felt their authorities were. So we've started that effort, and then, things at the legislative level and at the governor's level started some big discussions based on reacting to fire conditions in the state, availability of resources, incredibly dry drought conditions, high winds, all of those things. And so when we talked earlier in the week, it feels like it's been,
forever,
a week in the life of a dog. Yeah, we're aging in dog years now.
Yeah.
So it's changed a lot, and the governor issued his executive order. I actually just jumped off a briefing meeting with cities, with the Utah League of Cities and Towns, because that was breaking news yesterday. It was evolving quickly, and there's 257 cities in Utah, and they're all getting up to speed on what that order entails. And then we're reacting to a holiday week that starts next week, and it's significant with America 250. It's most communities in Utah will be having not just a day of celebration, but a week of celebration.
So is there any consensus among the cities and towns of the state of Utah on what they're going to do?
I would say that right now cities are getting their arms around what's in the executive order, and how they might designate places where fireworks are still allowed. That was something that was in the governor's executive order. So there is this local control element that the governor was moving some powers back. He put in place a statewide ban, but then he provided an avenue where you can go back to your map that you adopted several weeks ago as required by statute. You could now potentially modify that map, or you could go with a designated safe space. So we actually have a different menu of options and some new menu options that we did not have at the beginning of the week.
Mayor, are you getting any response yet from the residents of Bountiful, either for or against this?
I am. I mean, thanks to social media and the way information spreads faster than ever. People saw the live press conference yesterday. It was quickly on social media. That's the place where I try and be visible and available to my residents. So was quickly getting those outreaches. A lot of residents it gave them a sense of relief that had been very concerned. There's obviously residents who have made firework purchases or have very traditional plans that are concerned about what that's going to be. So hearing from both, I would say right now probably hearing more a sense of relief that given how dire conditions are, that there's some additional protections and additional tools in the city's toolbox. Since we're locked into those maps, those earlier in the week, we were locked in that map. I couldn't have changed that map if I, in any circumstance without this executive order.
So, Mayor, a couple of things. I listened to the governor's press conference yesterday, and he said he loves shooting off explosives as well, and that maybe there'll be a day like in November where people can shoot off the fireworks they've already purchased. But one of the other things, too, that really, really strikes me is I get the sense that people up here along the Wasatch Front somehow don't think it's as dire as it really is. Do you get that same sense? Is that why we're getting some pushback here?
I think people experience this issue in an uneven way. My community had a wildfire that started from an unattended campfire in 2019. Started on the hillside, downslope winds, brought it into my city. We lost 3 homes. We evacuated 800 families. It was in the part of Bountiful on the north end where I live. And I was awakened by a 3 a.m. pounding on my door and noticed I'd missed several missed calls from the city because I'm a really good sleeper. And that experience has always stayed with me, what it was like to help lead a community during a very scary fire. And so I will always carry that experience with me. Our friends in Salt Lake who just dealt with the Bonneville fire that is still in that mop-up stage, they're experiencing that differently. So we have uneven experiences just as human beings in all areas of our life, and those lived experiences, right, inform our reactions. And so I'm trying to grant grace to all different types of reactions. Some people, the 4th of July is a huge family reunion event, and this is how they've always celebrated. And when you switch a tradition, man, that's hard. So I think that's why we experience this unevenly in different parts of the state. If you're from central Utah right now, your heart's breaking watching, people being evacuated and not knowing if their home's going to be okay.
Mayor, the governor's order, I think, expires on July 5th, if I'm not correct, but we're in the midst of fire season. I don't think July and August are going to be any better than June. What do you expect will be, where are we going to be talking on the 24th of July or even later than that?
My expectation is we will get through July 5th. We'll get through all these big events with America 250, and we'll take a mini sigh of relief at all levels of government. And then we'll just start this conversation again in preparation for the 24th. There's a lot of hope that weather patterns are bringing a monsoon rain pattern, and maybe that'll change situations on the ground in the entire state or parts of the state. But, Mother Nature is sometimes fickle and doesn't respond to the weather forecast we expect from her. So I hope that that's what happens. And I hope that we are, my city is one where we place a lot of emphasis on our handcart days parade and firework, community firework that is in the second half of July. And so, I expect that at each level of government, we're going to be talking about this for the next, I'm going to talk about this for all of July.
Yeah.
Now, August, we're out of fireworks season. That's never been when we do fireworks in the state of Utah, and it will be dry. And I'm assuming that we will be then urging people to be thoughtful about a whole range of things: target shooting, camping, campfires, barbecues, taking trailers with chains that might be dragging. Like we're not going to be stopping the efforts to say, hey, be smart, be careful, be thoughtful, be engaged. Because one of the best parts about living in Utah are our outdoors. And there's landscapes we all love, whether they're the landscapes that are immediately in your backyard or someplace you've always traditionally, traveled to camp and to recreate.
I did want to clarify the professional displays of fireworks that various municipalities are doing. Those are still going on, right?
Yes, those were something that the governor's executive order and the state forester order that we expect to see shortly are going to say are still allowable. And there was a lot of dialogue on that, frankly. Those professional shows, in the name, they are put on by professionals. They are planned in conjunction with cities and with fire departments. They're generally put in a place where you have done some preparations. Perhaps you're making sure that the lawn areas in those parks have been, watered and are damp. You're able to station an engine truck in case you may need it. Historically, usually you use the same location over time, so you're aware of where those things are. With a professional show, you can also make the call. Is this a red flag day? Is the wind too high? Okay, we're calling it. Not happening.
We're almost out of time,
so there's
but
a little more tools.
Yeah. One of the things I think with the professional shows, you just mentioned that if the wind is too high, I have seen that happen actually with the Freedom Festival down in Provo, where they had to cancel or really curtail the fireworks displays because of wind. And I think they just did a couple of smaller things. And I think that's important to note too, that even the professional shows sometimes say, look, the weather conditions are just not conducive to us doing a show tonight.
All right. Well, thanks.
Yeah, I agree.
That was Mayor Kate Bradshaw from Bountiful. We will see you on the 25th. Holly and I are going to be at your parade, so we're looking forward to that. Come say hello to us.
I've got a great red, white, and blue outfit. Come find me.
Perfect. Oh, we'll look for you. Coming up next on Inside Sources, the man behind the Stratos Data Center project in Box Elder County is now walking back on claims of Utahns against the project being funded by the Chinese government. He was wrong about that. We'll talk about that when we come back.
10:30 at KSL News Radio. I'm McKenna Rodriguez. KSL's top local story this hour. Breaking news here at KSL News Radio. A man who was convicted of rape after being accused of faking his death to escape those charges has died in custody. Nicholas Rossi was pronounced dead at a local hospital last night, and the State Department of Corrections says he died of complications from an existing medical condition, one he had chosen to stop treating. Rossi was 38. Our top national story this hour from ABC News. The race to build AI data centers is going to cost us a lot more money. ABC's Andrea Fuji has the details.
Two tech giants are raising prices by hundreds of dollars on their most popular products, blaming the booming demand for memory chips. calling it chipflation. Apple says it's increasing the MacBook Pro by $300 to nearly $2,000. And the iPad Air is up $150, now selling for $749. Microsoft joining suit, saying by August, some Xbox consoles will increase by $150.
The memory chips used in data center computers are the same chips used by all sorts of consumer devices. Your money at this moment, the Dow is up 10 points currently. The Museum of Utah will host its grand opening this weekend at the state capitol. Visitors will be able to explore some uniquely Utah history, like a famous race car that drove 161 miles per hour on the Bonneville Salt Flats. It's free to the public. Coming up, hot, dry, and windy. KSL weather is next. KSL News Time, 10:32.
The sources where we get our news matters.
When you listen to Utah's Morning News, we want you to feel the stories are important to you and trustworthy. This is Amanda Dixon.
And I'm Andy Farnsworth. Join us weekday mornings on KSL News Radio. The Movie Show, broadcasting live from NPS in Salt Lake City. NPS, we call it the nicest place to save. And Igor's with us from NPS. What are some of the nicest things we can save on, or what are some of the nicest savings we can have this weekend, Igor?
Thank you, Andy. Because we're celebrating Elaine's birthday, we have all jewelry in Outback 60% off. We have all clothing 60% off. We discussed the books a minute ago. They're 2 for $3.
Okay, so this is even better than the $2 each. This is 2 for $3 now.
Yes, that's correct.
And it doesn't matter the size of the book. It doesn't matter what the cover price says on the book.
It doesn't matter the content.
It's 2 books
I'm heading
for
to get a book.
$3.
And clothing, usually we have half off. We're going to have it 60% off in honor of Elaine's birthday.
And that's on top of the 30 to 70% off that it's already marked down. This is a great time to get clothing of all kinds for all ages.
Yes. We have bedding and linen 60% off as well. We have shoes 35% off. Elaine loved her pets, so we have all non-food pet supplies 60% off.
It's like toys, beds, things like that.
Yes.
And the litter is excluded, just a heads up on that.
Yes.
But still, that's a great deal on pet items. Furniture, oh my gosh, you guys have everything in here.
Yes, we have 60% off. And we don't have a lot of furniture in this location, but across the street in the industrial store, we do have furniture. And we have a lot of furniture in Layton and in Orem.
Okay, so at all the main locations, you can get an additional 60% off of furniture. This is a good time to grab deals on things like that. Grocery deals, I was wandering around. All my favorite things. You've got great deals on things. In fact, my daughter's favorite soda, you guys have the 12 packs for $2.
That's amazing.
A 12-pack of soda for $2.
And this is name brand.
Yes. We're not allowed to name the brand. That's how much of an awesome deal it is. That's the things that happen at NPS. A reminder, if you earned dad bucks shopping at NPS last weekend, you got to spend it by
tomorrow.
By tomorrow. So bring it in today, bring it in tomorrow. Don't lose that free money. Come get more great stuff from NPS.
You're going to stretch those coupons because it's free money, like you said.
Don't waste free money when NPS is willing to give it to you, and come get more great merchandise or food, whatever you need. You got 4th of July celebrations coming up next weekend. NPS, the 4 locations: Salt Lake at 1600 South Empire Road, Layton 1150 North Main Street, Orem 475 North State.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-330-8323 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-330-8323. That's 800-330-8323. What do you have to lose? Call 800-330-8323. Again, 800-330-8323.
Traffic and weather together brought to you by UCCU. You deserve to love where you bank. Here's Cormac Bone.
That crash is still there on 5600 West in Salt Lake at California Avenue. Both directions of 5600 West are still closed. So it's light congestion there because it is fairly easy to get around it using the 201 or Mountain View corridor or otherwise the roadways there, but it is still closed. I-15, a problem-free drive all across the Wasatch Front, really all our freeways, even that right lane not very full between Kimball Junction and the US 40 turnoff, so don't expect anything too terrible on the freeways right now. UDOT construction alert, the 4500 South Bridge over I-215 in Mill Creek will be closed beginning Monday, June 29th. Through early August for bridge work. Cormac Bone in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL weather, 96 degrees today, but the wind will be blowing from 20 to 30 miles per hour in most areas of the state. Cooler tomorrow, but still windy, and a good chance for thunderstorms. Right now it's 88 degrees and partly cloudy and windy skies. I'm McKenna Rodriguez from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at kslnewsradio.com. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
The all-new Inside Sources. Inside Sources. Your inside access to the people and policies shaping Utah's future. Here are Greg Skordas and Holly Richardson on KSL News Radio.
So the tables have turned. If you know, you know. So the man behind the Stratos data center in Box Elder County, Kevin O'Leary, is completely walking back his claims that particular people were funded by the Chinese government.
Yeah, remember he said that a few groups that were protesting what he was doing there were funded by the Chinese government. We spoke earlier with one of the people that was involved in that, Gabby Finlayson of Elevate Strategies, who said, no,
well, we
really.
asked her straight up, are you an agent of the CCP? Because that was one of the things that Kevin O'Leary claimed.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, and I have to ask you this as the legal analyst. I think he might have been threatened or even hit with a lawsuit because yesterday he walked back those claims completely.
You know, I don't know if it was that as much as he just got caught. I mean, he
Really?
knows he's wrong. He's absolutely 100% wrong. I mean, maybe somebody threatened him with something, but it wouldn't be much of a lawsuit to say, hey, you're funded by the Chinese government. Well, no, I'm not. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know that that's a sexy lawsuit. I do think that he got caught.
Well, this is what he posted. Also, I don't know if he cares if he got caught, but this is what he posted on X. Recently, I appeared on various news programs and accused a bunch of people. That was me adding. Recently, I appeared on various news programs and would like to clarify that I have no evidence that Alliance for a Better Utah, Elevate Strategies, Gabrielle Finlayson, Taylor Knuth, or Joss Cantor are funded by China or the Chinese Communist Party. Really?
Okay, he got a letter from an attorney.
That's what I'm saying.
Maybe I'm walking back what I said. That he even names people and
he
says,
does.
okay,
These people specifically, I have no evidence that they were funded by or supported by either China or the CCP. So, I mean, come on. One of the things, too, right, we talked yesterday with Brigham Tomko from the Deseret News, and the Deseret News just did polling. It finished the day before the primary election on Tuesday. It's been a long week already. So one of the things that they polled was, what do you think about Kevin O'Leary? Well, he's underwater with Utah people. So a lot of people are like, I don't even have an opinion or I don't know who he is. But of the people who do, there are more people who have a negative opinion of him than have a positive opinion. But one of the things that he has said, even since the primary, he goes, well, it doesn't matter.
I don't care.
I don't care.
It's my project, and I'm going to finish
and we're going to move forward.
I don't know if it's that easy. He said that we're moving forward with the project. It doesn't matter. There's got to be some roadblocks to it that people are going to put up. There are going to be lawsuits, if there aren't already, that people are going to put up. I don't know that it's so easy for him to say we're going to break ground next Thursday and build this center. I mean, there's certainly
he say that?
No. I'm just saying. I don't think that he could say that.
I think one of the things that he'll face for sure is you've got to have environmental impact. You've got to have water studies. You've got to have air quality studies, and even before it blew up into an even bigger kerfluffle was the Department of Air Quality saying it's going to take us at least a year to do these studies on the potential impact up there.
Yeah.
So anyway, I just thought that was, I have to say, I think it's funny. It made me laugh because he had really doubled down on those claims. So in the middle of May, towards the end of May, he went around the nation saying things like, well, it's a It's a coordinated campaign. In fact, he said this. He goes, after seeing a major spike in a coordinated opposition campaigns around our Utah projects, we conducted a digital audit, and traced a large amount of activity to an organization called Alliance for a Better Utah, funded by China. He's deleted those. I can't imagine why.
Yeah, not even close. And I mean, he may have felt that was true at the time, but there's no evidence of that. And I know about the Alliance for Better Utah. I mean, they've been around for a while. They don't seem to be.
And, and people looked at their funding and they said they raised as much money this year as they have in previous years. Like, we don't see any spike in funding here.
Right.
Going on.
So this whole data center thing has just blown up in so many ways. And blown up in his face in so many ways because he was in our face at the beginning, and it got the county commission in trouble because I think that he was pushing this so hard at the outset that people felt like what he's saying now, hey, it's a done deal, don't stand in the way.
Yeah.
And I feel sorry for those county commissioners. I really do, because they were good people. And they were doing what they thought was best, and they thought that it was sort of a done deal, and they were just moving on to the next level. It wasn't like they voted for it; they just approved the concept of it or whatever. What they were doing at the time, it was more of a resolution than a order. But he's just been. I don't know. I mean, I just think he should maybe sit down with the Utah people and talk. And
I would say he should at least stop talking.
Right, yeah, and say, hey, let's figure out a way to do this. I mean, our Senate president
lost his seat.
Yeah. And he even jumped in at the end and said, hey, dial it back from 40,000 to 10,000 acres. And O'Leary said, I'll meet you in the middle. He went to 20,000.
So,
he's still doing it.
The Deseret News pulled on that question as well and said, does this make any difference that it's now cut in half? 56% of the people they polled said, nope, doesn't make a bit of difference.
No,
too little, too late, right? Too little, too late.
I also think 20,000 acres is still a huge
It's huge.
swath.
It's huge.
10,000 acres is big. I mean, they don't need that big of a footprint to build these buildings. Yeah. You could probably do it on 500 acres.
I'll just say this to Kevin O'Leary, who has way more money than I'll ever dream of. You come across as really condescending, sir, right? When it just is so, like, these people just barely lost their elections, and you've got people out there saying, well, we don't care, we're going to move forward with it. And in fact, I think the quote Brigham had was from the director of the project, whoever's over Stratus, is basically saying people change, but the project stays the same.
Yeah, and
I think man.
What the Stratos people completely underestimated was the pushback that they were going to get from rural Utahns, because they probably thought, hey, it'll be good for jobs, good for the economy. They don't care as much about the environment or whatever, but they do. I mean, they really do.
Oh, yeah. Gabby Finlayson had a funny quote, I thought. So this was shortly after she was accused of being a Chinese agent. And she was actually on a podcast, and she said this: the only foreign agent here is a, quote, horrible Canadian multimillionaire trying to ruin the environment in our country. Because Kevin O'Leary, he's not only not a Utahn, he's not an American.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, a citizen of Canada. Well, that whole data center thing is just a wild part of our lexicon now, conversation that we're going to continue, and it's not going away from
it's not
either
going away.
perspective.
Yeah, it's not going to go away. It's going to be on the ballot and in the lexicon for a long time. Okay, next on Inside Sources, it's time to talk with our friends at the KSL Movie Show. The big movie question of the week is, what's your dad's favorite movie? Text us your thoughts, 57500, and we'll be back.
You trust us for news and information in your car. Now trust us at home. KSL News Radio has you covered, keeping you informed on the latest breaking news, weather, traffic, sports, and more. Listen on your Amazon Echo or Google Home device. Just say, Alexa, open KSL News Radio, or listen on the KSL News Radio Listen app. Text the word app to 57500. KSL News Radio. We have you covered.
You might find she liked, but she also was open to look at others.
When it's hot like this, air conditioners struggle to keep up. Parts are under more stress, and sometimes those parts fail. What's up, everybody? I'm Mike Wilson with Any Hour Services, and no one helps more homeowners maintain and repair their air conditioners than Any Hour Services. As a matter of fact, last year, over 32,000 homeowners called Any Hour Services for help maintaining and repairing their systems. Any Hour Services has over 100 HVAC technicians to help with everything from maintenance, repair, to installing a new system. This summer, there'll be a lot of people told they need to replace their air conditioner, and they'll wonder, do I really need to? If you're told you need to replace your air conditioner and you still have questions, Any Hour Services can give you a second opinion and let you know what options are available. Maybe it just needs a little maintenance or a small repair. Maybe it does need to be replaced, but if you don't feel good about being told you need to replace your air conditioner, don't ignore those feelings. Call Any Hour Services for help with air conditioner maintenance, repair, or to schedule a free second opinion. Google Any Hour Services or schedule online at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
The Movie Show, broadcasting live from NPS in Salt Lake City today. And Igor, I made my trip through the grocery aisle to find my favorite things. The only thing I didn't find was my favorite brand of ice cream, but I found the chocolate peanut butter pies are still there. We've got, I found the protein shake that I buy every single time I come here because you guys have the best price on the one that I like. Better than at the big box stores and everything. And, I went over by the soda area and saw lots of good selection there, 25 cents a can. Plus, you actually have some 12-packs, pre-packed 12-packs of some of my kids' favorite drinks over there for $2 for a 12-pack. That's cheaper than I could get it out of the vending machine 30 years ago in high school is what that is.
I like that.
But these are the kind of deals you get at NPS because NPS wants to, first of all, they're the only recession-proof business that I know, that when things get tough everywhere else, NPS becomes even more valuable. We did stories this week on in some of our money news on Utah's Morning News of how Americans are looking to find ways to stretch their dollar more and more by going to certain places. And I wasn't allowed to say it in the story, but I was like, NPS!
Of course. Yes. Every day we help customers stretch their dollar, like you just said. And because of the movie show today, we have specials like this, selected. We cannot say
pink,
the brand.
Well, you can say what flavor it is, though. The pink, you got pink cranberry fruit juice.
Fruit juice. And this retails in all the stores for $3.59. And our price, what do you think, Val?
Oh, let's see. I would say maybe $2.
It's 99 cents.
What?
And how many ounces is that? That's the 1 liter?
Let me see here. This is 64 ounce.
64 ounce. Okay, so 64 ounces of name brand pink grapefruit, or not pink grapefruit, pink cranberry juice, 99 cents.
Refreshing.
I see you got a
delicious.
4-pack of something there.
Yes. This one we have this imported 4-pack sparkling drink.
That is my favorite brand, by the way.
Really?
Ah, yeah. Some people pronounce it
from you.
Some people pronounce it Peru. In some movies.
and you pay for this in the regular store $3.99. Here you're going to get them for $2 for $3.
2 for $3 for the 4-packs.
Yes, for the 4-packs.
See, these are amazing deals, and this is just the grocery stuff. Igor's already told us about an extra 60% off of clothing and accessories, extra 25% off TVs, 60% off wall art. All kinds of deals. As soon as you walk in the door at NPS, they've got a message board up with a QR code, or you can just look and see what the best deals are and head right to that spot at any of their 4 locations, including here in Salt Lake at 1600 South Empire Road, in Davis County, in Layton at 1150 North Main, in Orem at 475 North State.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head. The total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy. Pretty much hands off, They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief, the best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
And expanded Inside Sources.
So before we get to our friends at the movie show, I do have a couple of fun facts that I wanted to talk about today. So first of all, it's National Take Your Dog to Work Day.
And
a couple of weeks ago, It was like National Take Your Cat to Work Day. These are so dumb sometimes. Okay, I do want to talk about a couple of Supreme Court cases, but before that, I want to just remind our listeners that it was on this day in 2003 that former U.S. Senator Strom Thurmond died. He was born in 1902. He graduated from what is now Clemson in 1923. He served in World War II, where he participated in D-Day at Normandy, which is super interesting. He became the governor of South Carolina in 1946, and in 1954, he ran for the U.S. Senate on a pro-segregation platform.
Yeah.
He was pretty pro-white.
Yeah, right.
And what's super interesting about Strom, who served for 46, almost 47 years in the Senate, is he actually fathered a child with his his family's black housekeeper. So in 1925, he didn't admit it publicly. His family confirmed it the year he died, but he paid for her college education and everything. But he had a child with his family's black housekeeper.
Yeah, that's so
Okay.
weird. And he lived at 101.
Almost 101.
Yeah.
So I also, just two court cases really important. So in 1981, the U.S. Supreme Court upheld the mail-only draft registration as constitutional. So that might be important to note. And then the other one is in 2015. That was Obergefell, where the Supreme Court said same-sex marriage is legal for everyone in the United States.
That was a big ruling, and
Big.
we had some sort of a precursor to that right here in Utah.
Yeah, because Utah.
yeah.
All right, now we're going to go to our friends with the KSL Movie Show hosts, Val Cameron and Andy Farnsworth, live from MPS in Salt Lake City. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hey. How are you?
Oh, man.
Are you
we are
super?
I see what you did there. Yeah, so a superhero movie, and it's Superman's cousin that this one is about. Her name is Kara Zor-El, and she's obviously from the same planet as Superman, Krypton. So when she gets to Earth, she has the same powers as Superman. Difference is she is not as big a fan of Earth as Superman is, and the reason for that is explained in the movie, which we won't give away here, but I will tell you this. If you are a fan of the Supergirl TV show, very different origin story and very different characters. So if you go having loved that character and are hoping to see a big screen version of the same origin and the same personality type, it is not that. So that's probably my biggest warning is people who were in love with the Kara played by Melissa Benoist. It's a very different character. It's played by Millie Alcock in this. And if you watch it was the post-credit scene, right, of Superman last summer,
Yes.
that you met her, because it turned out when Krypto the Superdog was in the Superman movie, he was just keeping an eye on the dog because it belonged to his cousin. She shows up in the post-credit scene, hungover, grabs the dog, and then leaves.
Oh, wow.
And that's really the lead-in to this movie, because that's where we start with her story. Is she goes to planets where they have a red sun, because we're getting into superpower weeds here, but this is for Greg's sake as much as anything else. Greg, Superman is super strong because of our yellow sun. He comes from a different solar system. But when they go to a planet that has a red sun, it turns them normal. So she goes to those planets so she can get drunk, because the alcohol doesn't work on her on our planet.
She's partying for her birthday forever.
Oh, gosh.
Yes, and she goes on benders in order to kind of escape the painful bath. But I mean, that's something that a lot of humans can certainly relate to. They want to numb it, and it's not working on this planet, so she goes to another.
Is this a recently created character, or is this something you'd find in old comic books? I've never heard that name before.
Supergirl, you've never heard that name?
No. Not Kara.
Okay. Well, that her Kryptonian name is Kara Zor-El, just like Superman's Kryptonian name is Kal-El.
Okay, I didn't know.
She
that.
doesn't have. At least I don't remember.
That.
She doesn't have a Clark Kent name, at least not in this series.
Not yet.
I cut you off. Sorry, Andy. Go ahead.
So no, it's okay. But that's the story. She gets caught up with some space pirates that are trafficking women through space and that steal things, and she's got she's kind of helping protect, but there's a girl who the head space pirate murdered her family, and so she wants revenge, and so she's sort of half protecting her. But this is Superman. This is not just Superman in a skirt.
No.
Okay.
And honestly, I think that's one of the things that works best for it, because then it's not just. I don't know. I don't know how it's going to be received by everybody. Rotten Tomatoes is kind of an indicator of how some people are seeing it, but I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. I was kind of just okay.
All right.
Yeah, I enjoyed a lot about it, but there were some storylines that I think were insignificant. But if you're going to see, if you're going to go see Superman, which is kind of a Boy Scout, this
She's the
Supergirl
opposite.
is the opposite of this, and she's spunky and she's got a lot going on. So for this one, I gave it a B-.
Okay, so first of all, I have to just tell you, I'm going to go to the movies this weekend, but I'm not seeing this one. I'm actually seeing Toy Story 5.
Yay, you're finally getting to Toy Story 5.
So what's our movie question
Or
of
is this the second
week?
time for
No,
you?
it'll be the first. But what's our movie question of the week?
Well, because we sort of missed last week and didn't, we have a problem on the movie show of thinking too far ahead because every week brings us so much stuff we have to keep track of. We forgot that Father's Day, we knew it was Father's Day weekend, but we didn't think of having a question about our dads. So we're going to, since we're still in the same week technically as Father's Day, which started on Sunday,
Yeah.
that's what we're doing. We have, what is your dad's favorite movie?
Okay, this one was finally easy for me, and you're gonna get this movie in 2 seconds. Here we go. This was far and away my dad's favorite movie.
But which one?
The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. It only played in one. You're
Oh,
thinking
that
all
music was.
Yeah.
I was thinking of that same character in the 3 movies, but okay. So he watched that one a lot.
You killed me.
Well, no, I knew it was Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, but then I was
you're
like,
thinking the fistful of dollars for
A few dollars more.
That song did not come out in, or what? It's not a song, but that music wasn't involved in any of those. It
All
was
right,
just the Good, the Bad,
I
and the
actually answered the question not about my dad, but about the dad of my kids. So my husband, one of my husband's favorites.
Here we go.
Excuse me. Who are you?
Rubeus Hagrid, keeper of keys and grounds at Hogwarts. Of course, you'll know all about Hogwarts.
Sorry, no.
No? Blimey, Harry, didn't you ever wonder where your mum and dad learned it all?
Learn what?
You're a wizard, Harry.
You're a wizard, Harry.
You gotta get that one.
So,
by the
look,
way, I love reading the books to my kids and doing the accents from the movie.
So one of the things that's funny is when I asked him, guess what the first one was? He said, Lord of the Rings. And
Okay,
I told him he had to pick something else.
But that's too funny. I love that you guys are so unified that even Lord of the Rings are your favorite movies together.
I know. Okay, what about you guys? Favorite your
I
dad's
had to
favorite
go.
movies?
Yeah, my dad. It doesn't have one, but all of the Bourne movies.
Oh.
Yeah, Bourne
Any of
Identity.
the Bourne series. Yeah.
My dad would watch every Charlie Chan movie from like the 1940s or whatever it was. He
Wow.
would fall asleep to him at night. But if I had to pick a modern one, he loved the Reacher movies with Tom Cruise. He loved them. Not many people loved the Reacher movies with Tom Cruise. My dad did.
Your dad's both
Interesting.
like those action movies. My dad was
Yes.
all about old spaghetti westerns.
Oh, my dad loved the westerns too. He did love those
anything
too.
Clint Eastwood. My dad has all those movies.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Hey, so where are you guys?
We are at NPS in Salt Lake City with all kinds of awesome deals. There are people who've earned movie bucks. You see where my brain already is. You're in dad bucks, you got to use them, and so we're just trying to get people to come on in and get awesome deals on stuff.
We like it when we can see you because it
I
does
know,
look
it's
like
so
there's
fun.
a lot of cool
I keep
stuff
forgetting you
behind
can see
Yeah,
us.
I know.
I'm like looking all over the
wait,
place.
No, it's really fun.
It's a lot of fun. It really made things a lot better.
I'll sit up more straight.
There you go. Yeah, now we can see you.
Now we can see you really
Right,
well.
yeah.
So just a lot of fun. I know that you're already getting texts in here, so that's really fun. But we really appreciate you joining us today and indulging this for some of our fun facts before we got to the movie show. So what we're going to do is we are actually going to turn it over to you guys where you can take it and really have fun with the movies of the week. And we are going to take off and have a fun weekend, but we will not light
we look
anything
forward
on
to
fire.
your review of Toy Story 5
All right.
next week.
Okay. We will not light anything on fire. That's our commitment to you this weekend. Okay. Talk to you later.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
It's 11 o'clock at KSL News Radio. I'm Becky Bruce. KSL's top story this hour. The prosecutor in the Charlie Kirk murder case is being held in contempt of court for violating a gag order earlier in the case. Tyler Robinson's attorneys had hoped that finding would result in the death penalty being taken away as an option, but the judge ruled that's not appropriate. In addition to holding the prosecutor in contempt, he's ordering more rigorous questioning of jurors to mitigate any problems from that pre-trial publicity. The state will also have